JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Commissioner shoots down suggestion of hit squad within JCF. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake has moved to dismiss claims that there's a hit squad in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. This is in light of the rising number of police fatal shootings since the start of the year. Commissioner Blake says rumor defies logic.
You mentioned inner squad. I don't know from where that comes, right? But that's absolutely not how we operate. We have no such thing. As a matter of fact, the JCF of today, if you notice, there's no one individual, there's no one formation, there's no one name. The name brand policing era has gone. What you hear is a Jamaica Constabulary Force. Thank you. Secondly, I went at length in one of my articles to outline the various oversight bodies around the JCF. And I must say that we probably have the largest number of oversight body in any police organization in this side of the world. It means, therefore, the things that sometimes people say, it defies logic. It defies logic. We just have a seizure of 233 weapons, over 40,000 rounds of ammunition and counting. I don't know what we think those things were for. This is what my men and women are up against every single day. Every single day. We have a country where year after year we have over 1,000 people murdered on our streets. These are the guys with the brains that tell them that it is good to murder someone on camera in broad daylight. These are the same guys using the same brain when we tell them, if we are coming for you, lay your weapons down. But it surprised some of us sometimes that these persons would not turn the weapons against the police force, members of the security force. And so I find it difficult for us not to understand what is logical and quickly push something that is as illogical as that. With the level of oversight that exists within the JCF, even if we had the intention of doing what some people say we would do, and when you look at the results of these investigations, then it's either those oversight bodies not doing their job, or the situation that is painted is not exactly as it is. And this sometimes forms a significant distraction to my men and women when they are out there facing these individuals on a daily basis. And we have to be careful when we say these things, because at the end of the day, there's a thing that we call self-preservation. And when you get police in self-preservation mode, it is the citizens who suffer. Because if every time you are up against these individuals, these hardened criminals who are not afraid to murder a 9-year-old, and then you become the victim every time, then the next time when you are to respond, that is in the back of your mind. It is hard work. It is hard work to remove that level of doubt from my members, to give them the confidence to go out there and face these challenges every day. And so we can do without that type of narrative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Two arrested during gun seizure at Manchester Bar. The police in Manchester reporting that 2 people were arrested and a gun seized during an operation at a bar in Newport, Manchester on Wednesday night. Constable Anisha Marshall assigned to the Newport police station said the weapon seizure and arrest happened about 8:20 p.m. Another firearm was taken off the streets of Manchester. Officers from the Newport police station responded to a call regarding a loud noise at a bar in Lime Tree Lane in Newport. On the arrival of the police, a man was seen acting in a suspicious manner and he dropped an object. On closer inspection of the object, it was revealed to be a .45 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 6.45 live rounds. A further search of the suspect's home was conducted and another 4.45 rounds were found. 2 suspects were taken into custody. She is studying an order released from the leadership of the Manchester Police. 21-year-old mechanic accused of murder. A 21-year-old mechanic is now in police custody following the stabbing death of another mechanic on Monday, May 19. Lamar Mill of New Harbour Village, Old Harbour, St. Catherine, has been charged with the murder of 21-year-old Jerome James, who is of a Waterford, St. Catherine address. Reports from the Portmore police said that Miller and James were involved in an altercation during which Miller used the knife to inflict multiple stab wounds to James's upper body before escaping the area on foot. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, James was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Miller was subsequently arrested during an operation and was later charged on Thursday, May 29. His court date is being finalized. Government vows to track down and arrest masterminds of massive guns and ammo shipment. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has admitted that premature reports of the massive gun find on Wednesday could have affected efforts by local and international law enforcement agencies to nab the masterminds, but he is confident those behind the attempt to smuggle 74 rifles, 159 handguns, and more than 40,000 rounds of ammunition will be caught, and that confidence is shared by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Addressed in a special post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House Thursday afternoon, the Prime Minister and his deputy were full of praise for the law enforcement agencies involved in the seizure of the instruments of death and underscored the administration's investment in Jamaica's security apparatus, which has led to this and several other major busts in recent time.
This is not by chance. It is the result of strategic and unprecedented investment in national security. Since 2016, this administration has invested $87 billion in security. $87 billion, more than 3 times what was invested by previous administration before 2016. So we are investing roughly about $9 billion per year in security. This shows our intent. It's not just talking about security, it's not just praying about security, it is actually doing the work. It is actually making the effort and making the allocations for security, and that is yielding great results. The investment in security, as pointed out by the Minister of National Security, was not only in the JDF, where significant resources were placed in securing our borders, in acquiring offshore patrol vessels, maritime aircraft, radars, and other things which we don't give too much information on. It was not only the investment in the JCF, in the refleeting of the JCF, in the introduction of better communications, better forensic, greater investigation, the changing of the doctrine and leadership, the human resource development, increasing the complement of the JDF, which is now close to more than 8,000, moving it from about 5,000, and moving the JCF to its establishment from about 9,000 to 14,000 persons now in the JCF. Significant improvement in human resources as well. But I'd also want to point out that we have made significant investments in the Jamaica Customs Agency, both in terms of the improvement in their own systems and processes and human resource development, but also in the technology that they use in striking greater partnerships with our international partners, and significant investment in greater scanning technology. And what you're seeing now with this recent find of using the remind me, Commissioner, of the last figures you gave, 179?
So it's 233?
233.
In total.
233 weapons discovered.
74 rifles.
Mm-hmm.
And 159 handguns.
There you have it. 233 weapons of mass destruction for Jamaica.
Investigation report into death of PMP Councillor Rowan Bryan complete. The investigation report into the death of People's National Party PMP Councillor Rowan Bryan at the Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas a year ago has been completed. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says copies of the report are at the Ministry and the South East Regional Authority SERA. The investigation was done to determine if negligence led to the councillor's death. Dr. Tufton gave an update on the matter following a tour of the Princess Margaret Hospital on Thursday. He noted that it is no legal matter.
There are some discussions that are taking place. The family was met with and the report explained. They have, as I understand it, engaged a legal team to continue the dialogue, and in response, of course, it is now a legal matter, and so the legal team on the side of the ministry will also similarly have to engage that conversation. What it will lead to, I don't think I should preempt and say. I would prefer to allow that process to take its course, but out of respect for the family and for others who are involved, including the institution, and the need for a hearing of sorts to be had, which may have legal implications, I prefer to reserve any further comment until that process is completed.
Brian, who represented the Morant Bay Division in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, died of a heart condition at the hospital on May 1, 2024. It's reported that he was sent to Kingston in his private vehicle to a medical facility without the assistance of staff from the hospital because the 2 ambulances assigned to the hospital were not available. Driver who fell asleep and crashed into a car on Mandela Highway fined $150,000. A 56-year-old motorist who fell asleep while driving along the Mandela Highway and crashed into a parked car, injuring the driver, was on Thursday fined $150,000 or 3 months imprisonment in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Veron Nesbitt was charged with dangerous driving, but his attorney, Charles Williams, made a mitigation submission. Nesbitt subsequently pleaded guilty to the lesser offense of careless driving with collision. He was informed that the maximum fine for the offense is $500,000. However, Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Lane imposed a fine of $150,000 or 3 months imprisonment plus 10 demerit points on his driver's license. Facts outlined by the clerk of courts are that about 2 p.m. on February 26, 2025, Nesbitt was driving a Suzuki Grand Vitara sports utility vehicle along the highway when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, he fell asleep and ran off the road. His vehicle slammed into a parked underfit motor car, injuring the driver. An investigation was conducted by the police, and Nesbitt was charged with dangerous driving. Government defends appointment of Dennis Chung to FID. The government has defended the appointment of Dennis Chung to the Financial Investigations Division, FID. The parliamentary opposition has indicated that it is considering a legal challenge to the appointment of Chung as the new Chief Technical Director of the FID. People's National Party leader Mark Golding argued that Chung is unfit for the post and his appointment should be immediately rescinded. But speaking Thursday at a post-cabinet press briefing, Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon said Chung went through the usual recruitment process.
Would you, PM, I can take that too. All right. Just to note, and I got some questions from other members of the media in relation to that appointment. Every single senior appointment in government goes through a process. There is a process that we go through. The position is advertised. Individuals apply. There is a panel that's put together that shortlists candidates, and then there is a interview process that takes place, and there is scoring. The members of the committee score each of the persons, and then they make a selection. So there is a process that would have been followed, and from all the information I've been given, that process was followed. And so, we may have issues or not, and some people are celebrating the appointment, some are not. But the reality is that as government, we have put in place particular systems, especially in the hiring of senior government officials, and those processes were followed. If you have something to say it was not, then tell us that. But the process, as far as what we have the information on, that process has been followed. And I'm answering you the way I answered that other reporter who spoke to me earlier today.
JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.